Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's a Thursday here on the Earnestly Speaking Unfiltered podcast, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, where you can find us at Earnest Speaking Media. How you guys doing? I'm having a good afternoon, and I hear my kids coming here. Hold on, my kids are gonna come in the room. Hold on, I'm in my office right now, and I hear my kids coming to bother me. I hear them. Okay, couple things I'm gonna cover today real quick. My prediction on Chargers Raiders tonight. Big game tonight, actually. Basically, tonight's game is a loser leaves town game. Loser leaves town. Basically, the loser of tonight's game is pretty much out of the playoff hunt in the AFC. I think the Raiders are 4-4, Chargers 4-5, but surging a little bit. My reaction to the college playoff four release, which is 2 days ago, actually. I haven't had a chance to react to that since then. This is the last time you were on here, so I'll get to that in a second. Cam Newton's future. I have a couple of thoughts on that and where he should go next year in the event the Panthers to release him, because there's a lot of numbers that they're coming out that basically it won't cost a lot of money to get released. AEW NXT update, ratings update, numbers are out. I'll give you my reaction to numbers and all that. And Cris Carter is out at Fox Sports. And my son's here. Hi, Logan. How you doing? Want to say hi, everybody here before we get started? Come here. Come here. Say hi, everybody, before we get started. Come on. Say hi. Say hi. 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 So, okay. What we're going to talk about first? Chargers and Raiders tonight? You going to watch the meeting tonight? You're going to fall asleep like last week? Get out of your mouth. Okay, so last I checked, the Raiders, the Chargers were a 1-point favorite in tonight's game. Gave me the Chargers to cover, win outright. It's a big game for them. But I will say this much here. If the Chargers actually lose this game, I just found out, I didn't even realize this. I just found out that Phillip Rivers is a free agent next year. Phillip Rivers is also 38 years old. And there are a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, even in the short term. Is he worth taking a gamble on for a team like, say, the Bears or the Titans, maybe the Dolphins? Any team that's actually kind of on the fence of being a playoff contender. Rivers is a top 15 quarterback in the league still to this day. He's worth the risk. So it's actually a big game to realize for narratives, too. The Chargers this game, Phillip Rivers, you're talking about the Chargers being 4-6, and so you're tough again in the playoffs, margin of error, got to win out, all that, and then you worry about his future. And if you're the Chargers, do you move on from Rivers? I mean, you can franchise him a year, paying $3 million for him to stay. But if you're the Chargers, do you do that? Do you decide to move on and go in the draft, get a quarterback, and go from there? A lot of questions to be answered tonight. This game is a lot bigger than people give credit for. I'll be locked in this game tonight, definitely. But I'm taking the Chargers to win outright, the 1-point favorites. So, okay, so Tuesday, the playoff committee released their first. Actually, no, real quick, before we get to we leave the NFL quick. Cam Newton out for the year. I didn't get a chance to react to that either a couple days ago. Cam Newton may not be back next year. We might have seen the last Cam Newton as a quarterback with the Carolina Panthers, and it obviously he's 30 years old. I think he still has some left in the tank, but a lot of injuries, a lot of risk there. He's owed next year $20 million. But I think he can still be serviceable somewhere if he's willing to, I guess, change his way he plays. I mean, he's a guy that likes to run the ball a lot. He's a very physical quarterback, but again, the injuries are piling up. I've already said the best spot for him right now in the short term, given the fact that this team has a lot of issues with quarterback right now, is the Bears. And I mean, Mitchell Trubisky is trash, man. We know this already. Mitchell Trubisky is absolute trash. So if I'm the Bears, I am trying to do what I can next year. If you believe that Cam Newton and the Panthers are going to part ways this offseason, you need to do what you can to get Cam Newton. And not only that, Cam Newton will be playing. If Cam Newton comes, let's say they trade for Cam Newton next year. Say they don't come, they trade for him. You're getting Cam Newton on a contract year. So if Cam Newton wants to play long term and look a couple of years to make more money going forward, you're likely to get Cam Newton as a motivated quarterback. So the Bears being the team that was just in the mix last year, now they're falling apart this year, but they have a top 3 defense in the league still. It's probably worth the risk. It's probably worth the risk to get Cam. I tell you what, Cam Newton, even at 50%, is much better than Mitchell Trubisky. Trubisky is trash. Period. In discussion. Which, by the way, I'm hearing too people saying that he can't stand hearing people talk about him and how bad he's been playing. He's a little sensitive to that. Hey Mitchell, how about this? How about play better? How about play better first? And that's not what people talking about. Seriously, just get over it. You're top 2-3 pick in the draft. Come on, comes with territory, man. Okay. Now back to what I was talking about a couple minutes ago. The playoff four. They revealed it 2 days ago. I haven't a chance to react to it. The order was Ohio State 1, LSU 2, Alabama 3, Penn State 4. I don't have a problem with their rankings necessarily. Obviously, Penn State I didn't have my 4. They're definitely top 5 or 6. But I see what they're doing there. A lot of times, especially the first couple of weeks, normally, the committee always has a lot of zingers in there. In other words, they'll always throw teams in there just for the conversation. I'd have Penn State. I don't think Penn State's one of the top 4 teams in all college football. They're playing good, but I think what they do, they add LSU should be number 1 in my opinion. They pull House number 1 because they've been so dominant, and they do it for the conversation's sake, obviously for shock value. Okay, but the reason why I don't get too over the top about these rankings is that all of this is gonna take care of itself. It's gonna take care of itself because we know this. LSU Alabama plays this weekend. Looking forward to that. Penn State plays Ohio State in 2 weeks. Okay, you got a lot of big games coming in the month of November, so it'll work itself out. Yeah, Clemson fans are pissed out on the top 4, but guess what, Clemson fans? You win out, you're in anyway because guess what? You're Clemson, and again, it will work itself out. So, like I said, I don't get too bent out of shape about this stuff anymore. I was the first couple of years when I did this, but it's exciting and whatever. But all this really is just something to talk about. That's it. Because again, Alabama and LSU play this weekend. Penn State and Ohio State playing next week. It will all work itself out. Just trust me. Okay, we have the AEW NXT ratings update. The numbers are in, and AEW wins again, but narrowly, as I expected. But a lot of people this week thought NXT will win this week. The numbers war. But AEW wins. They got 822,000 viewers last night. That's 63,000 viewers up from last week. NXT got 813,000 viewers, which is a big jump from 580K last week. Now, NXT's bump was to be expected because, if you guys watch this stuff weekly, Raw, SmackDown, all that, they've invaded both shows last 2 episodes, Raw and SmackDown. So it was to be expected that NXT get a bump, and in fact, a lot of us thought they would actually win the entire week, but obviously the numbers petered out. Now, the good news is that the numbers went up. Obviously, we knew the numbers were low last week because of the World Series Game 7 and all this, and basketball started last week and all that. So it was to be expected that the numbers would go up. Obviously you want to be closer to 1 million, but it isn't right now. Big deal. I actually just wish, because I don't watch this stuff live, actually. So I'm not part of the demographic. I don't watch any. I watch AEW the day after. I watch Raw the day after. Smack all that. So I don't necessarily. I'm not a part of this numbers here. I like to see the numbers when you include on demand as well too. I think a lot of people overrate live wrestling numbers because you don't have to watch it live. You can watch Raw, not watch Raw on Monday and watch in 2 days and still feel like you're in the mix. It's not like football, basketball. I think we can start treating like it's football, basketball, a live sport. So like I said, NXT numbers coming back. Going back up north this week was to be expected because of course, them invading Raw and SmackDown. People are saying, "Oh, this could be the end of AEW." Stop, because NXT. Here's the thing with WWE. WWE has more resources, and them having NXT invade the show, where it may be because of the Saudi Arabia stuff last week, it doesn't even matter. But the fact that Vince decided to have NXT guys on both the shows, both Raw and SmackDown this past week. It does, to some degree, reek of desperation. They have the resources to do that. They have a network. They have a network. You have the Fox deal. You have USA. You have a lot of resources. AEW is just one show. AEW has the weekly show Dynamite on Wednesdays. They have, and I'm not even going to count the AEW dark stuff on YouTube. That doesn't really resonate with the live crowd. I'm sorry, this doesn't. Okay, in the grand scheme of things. So AEW only has a weekly show, and then their pay-per-view for once a month, and they're still beating NXT in the ratings. Okay, and again, AEW is competition and all that, but AEW is still, they're a different alternative from what WWE is. I enjoy both, but I tell you what, I get more excited about AEW week to week than I do, WWE in general. I like NXT. I'm not investing in NXT just yet because again, a lot of wrestling hours to commit to a week, plus pay-per-views. So, but let's see how these numbers go. Next week. I'm really curious if NXT actually overtakes them next week. I don't know. I have my doubts, but we'll see. Because the NXT angle with them going to Survivor Series alongside Raw, SmackDown. It may actually help the numbers, and NXT might actually win next week or next couple weeks. We'll see what happens there. Finally, before I go, Cris Carter is out at Fox Sports. Now, I heard a rumor a couple days ago that Cris Carter was well, obviously was. I don't watch the first things first show on Fox in the morning. And he hasn't been on the show since last Wednesday, and apparently he is no longer a part of the company anymore. Apparently, what we heard, he had an issue of not being used on Thursday Night Football, whatever that means, ego, whatever it means. And he had to be escorted. He had security when he cleaned his desk out. He had security, having to oversee him leaving the premises, all that. My question is, who's going to replace him on First Things First if this show even still exists going forward? I mean, I don't see numbers. I can't really judge on that, but I can't imagine that show's doing that well ratings wise because no one really talks about it. I mean, you hear First Take, you hear Undisputed, obviously, and those numbers, those shows have been the dominant, morning sports shows. Get Up, even to some degree. First Things First don't just really get a lot of pop, in my opinion. I got to see numbers for proof, but I'm really curious to see who they replace Cris Carter with. Because I didn't mind him and Nick Wright together necessarily. Again, I watched the clips of the shows. I didn't watch the entire shows, but I thought they were pretty good together. So I'm really curious who they replace Cris Carter with in the future. So again, tonight -1. Give me the Chargers to win tonight. Again, this Periscope, you can't catch it live. You can also visit my YouTube page at Earnest Speaking Media. Or if you can't catch the video, you can catch the audio version that's on the Earnest Speaking Unfiltered podcast, which is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. So let me get out of here. Got to make my kids dinner, all that stuff. So happy Thursday. Oh, by the way, I have a podcast dropping in the morning with Greg Harinia of author and basketball writer. We're going to talk to NBA tonight on the Earnest Speaking podcast. So check it out soon, too, as well tomorrow morning. Love you guys. Kisses. See you tomorrow.